welcome to another episode of World Football Summit at Home. I hope you're all doing good and staying safe. Today I have the honor to be joined by Joe De Sena, who is the founder and CEO of the Spartan Race, which I'm sure all of you have heard of at some point because it's by far the world's leading series of obstacle races, hosting races in over 40 countries across the globe currently. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, where are you right now and how are you doing, you, your family, and the members of the Spartan Race team?
We are extremely fortunate, so I can't complain. We are on lockdown on a farm right now. And before the end of the show, I'll show you the farm. But we've got 700 acres here in the middle of Vermont. So this morning, I was hiking the mountain. Yesterday, we go up the mountain every day. We had a little Spartan obstacle course in the backyard for Easter Sunday. So we're not locked down in an apartment. We're locked down in a pretty big farm with barns. And so, look, it's still tough. We're losing a ton of money every single day. We had to furlough a lot of people. There's sad news coming from every country, but thank God, at least I have a little bit of normalcy in my life because I'm on the farm. My team has pivoted. We're doing a ton of digital now, which is exciting, although very tiring. So I apologize to the listeners or the viewers if I sound a little tired, but I'd much rather be carrying a sandbag up a mountain, but I'm here doing digital all day.
Spartan Race, as we were saying before, Joe, is the world's leading series of obstacle races, hosting races in over 40 countries in the world. And coronavirus has obviously hit hard on you, as it has on so many other event organizers. To put it into perspective, how many events have you been forced to cancel or postpone around the world in the last few weeks due to this pandemic?
Well, we're lucky. We're lucky in that most of our events are on the back half of the year. So, but we have 325 events planned for 2020. And we'll probably end the year, depending on when these countries open up, somewhere between 250 and 275. So, maybe 50 or 60 events out of 325, maybe 20% could get postponed and moved and a few canceled. But most we would just postpone and push out later in the year.
As you were saying before, Joe, this crisis is definitely is already posing a tough obstacle race for many businesses in a lot of different fields. And it seems that it won't necessarily be the strongest who will survive, but those who are able to adapt in a faster and a better way. In this sense, Spartan Race has put itself in an extremely good position. You've been so agile, pivoting to digital, creating a virtual version of all your races, promoting the Spartan Edge, your digital platform, and even creating a 24/7 Zoom channel. Can you tell us a little bit more about these initiatives that you're carrying on and others that you may be planning for the future?
Well, thank God we have a very strong team that immediately pivoted and they rolled up their sleeves and they went into the digital space right away. One of the things I did was I said I want to host a 5:30 a.m. global call where I get smart people like yourself from all over the world to join, about 100 or so folks, scientists, doctors, military, financial wizards, and we've been hosting that show for 32 days. And what that does is it gives us accurate news from around the world on a daily basis. We don't have to depend on the news channels. So I'd love for you to join that call if you had time. It's 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then from there, we immediately go into live workouts. We've got psychologists. We got 24-hour Zoom channel, like you said. We've got Spartan Edge, which is a bunch of courses being delivered by experts in their respective fields. So, yeah, we just went 24/7 nuts on digital to hopefully sprinkle a little Spartan in everybody's life.
And what's the feedback that you're getting from? Obviously, you have a very close relationship. That's something I'd like to discuss further on. You don't have clients, you don't have followers. You've actually been able to build a community. So I'm curious of the feedback that you're getting.
And it's incredible feedback, as you could imagine. I mean, the emails I'm getting on a daily basis, just emails directly from consumers, is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, people are, I had a guy email me last night and said, listen, I sold my business 3 years ago. I saw that you were having tough times. We want to write you a check. I mean, you've been so impactful in our, like, who gets those kind of emails? It's unbelievable.
Wow. Well, pivoting to digital is obviously crucial, Joe. But it requires, as I was saying before, having a strong and engaged community behind, which is not something that you can build in a day, and it's not something that every company or that every brand has. The Spartan Race has definitely done a great job since its foundation in this sense. How important do you think those community ties are being these days and are going to be in the future, in which obviously digital is going to be increasingly important?
You know, when this all went down, I said there's three things we have to focus on. One, and every business I think has to focus on this. One is liquidity. You got to make sure you've got enough capital to survive and weather the storm. Two is your people. And even though we had a furlough, 75% of our staff still got to take care of them, treat them like family. And then three is the community. And so we're talking to the community all day, every day, and keeping, close contact with them. So that's what we're doing, and it seems to be working. And I think when this is over, they're going to remember that, at least the feedback we're getting. And I think humans are going to really want to get outside and get reconnected. I think we're tribal creatures. So I can't imagine people are going to want to stay trapped in their homes and change their lives to, in a way where all of a sudden we're using Zoom meetings. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to want to get out there.
But I was also curious. I don't know if in your industry, in the fitness and in the sport industry, all the virtual events that are now being offered that perhaps weren't offered before, as like the virtual challenges that Spartan Race is launching. Do you think this will change? It will make a change in the fitness or in the sport industry in the long term?
No, I'm not a big believer in the virtual. I mean, it has its place, and there's certainly a percentage of people that will connect and participate in the virtual. But and maybe the next generation who's just more digitally savvy than you and I, maybe they would. But people want to get together. People, they want to see each other. They want to connect physically. When we do virtual challenges, we've been doing them for years. Although some would think it's a big number, we might get 3,000, 4,000 people to participate. But remember, we've got almost 2 million people participating in physical, actual challenges. So I don't think it's ever going to replace the need for the human need to want to get together.
Someday, hopefully soon, things are going to return to normal. But it seems clear that nothing is going to be quite the same, since the crisis is obviously going to disrupt a lot of industries. What do you think the consequences will be for massive sport events like the Spartan Race or so many other sport events?
I think back to 9/11, and the instinct was that people would not want to live in cities. And in fact, the opposite became true. And then I think back to the Boston Marathon bombing, and the instinct was that people wouldn't want to do mass participatory events, but the actual opposite was true. So I suspect, we were on the phone this morning on our 5:30 a.m. Warrior call, and we were talking about the Japanese disasters that have happened over the last 15 years, right? The tsunami. It becomes a distant memory. And so I suspect, I'm looking outside right now, it's sunny. I want to go out there, and I want 5,000 people out there with me right now, jumping over walls. And I think we're going to get right back to where we left off. I think certainly people will use Zoom a little more. Folks that are a little older will feel more comfortable using Amazon. There'll probably be a little bit of a hangover where if people are afraid to not wash their hands, if this or that, but by and large, we'll be back to normal. That's my opinion.
So are you even confident that there can be a bounce back effect, like I've heard you said on one of your Instagram videos?
I'm already seeing the cruises are seeing a big pickup in 2021 bookings. People are signing up to go on cruises. So that's one thing. I'd be afraid of a cruise, and if they're signing up like crazy to get on cruises, there's going to be a bounce back effect.
Joe, you were inspired, if I'm not wrong, to create the Spartan Race after facing a very difficult personal situation, proving that even in the worst crisis, it's possible to find opportunities. I'm curious to know what opportunities you are envisioning right now once this nightmare is over.
I think there's a big opportunity for us to be bigger in merchandise and online sales. That business has exploded for us in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think there's an opportunity to do training, more online training. So I think there are digital opportunities for us that all encompass part of being a lifestyle brand.
Joe, and in the wider picture, how do you think this crisis is going to change us as a society?
I hope people will eat less chips, and I hope they'll go to bed a little earlier. I hope they'll do some more burpees and take some more cold showers. When you look at the people that are being most affected by this virus, it's people that are unhealthy, have underlying health issues that are avoidable. So I'm hoping this is a wake-up call. Maybe we'll get rid of some factory farming practices. Maybe people will eat a little less meat. But I don't know. I hope.
And thank you so much for joining us. And we're really looking forward to having you at one of our World Football Summit events and hearing more from that inspiring personal journey that took you to creating the Spartan Race. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thanks for having me.